Hey everybody, this is Dr. Holcomb. In this video, I'm going to walk you through one possible way of approaching, or at least beginning, the basic HTML short writing assignment. What I've got here, I've got just a basic garden variety Word document. This is a copy of a research argumentative essay by a student in another section. For this assignment, you're going to use a draft of your research argumentative essay. I have just a plain text editor. This is the one that comes with Windows. It's called Notepad. I know Mac has its own default text editor, and I can't remember the name of it. And then just a browser. And that's really all you need to do, all you need to have to start building web pages. So let's go back to the Word document. One quick, dirty way of creating an HTML document is just selecting all, copy and paste by hitting Control-C, go over to the text editor and hit Control-V to paste it in there. And there it is. That's the paper from the Word document. It's lost some formatting, not all formatting, but that's just kind of what happens when you transfer from one format into another. And I mean, one way is just to save as an HTML document. So if I go in here and I click Save, and what I would recommend doing is to name your web page using your last name, just so I can, when they start coming into me, I can keep them separate. So I'm just going to call it Holcomb, and then I'm going to add the extension HTML.html and click Save. And if I go to my Explorer, there it is. And if I double click on it, it should just open in my default web browser. So let me just double click. And there it is. It's open up in Google Chrome. The problem here is that it's just a wall of text. HTML pretty much ignores white spaces and formatting from Word documents. So, and this is kind of what I want to illustrate in this first part of the tutorial, is how web tags add structure to content. So you've got all this content here and no structure to it. So let's go back in and just start slapping some tags on this content and give it some structure. So I'm going back into my text editor. First thing I'm going to do, and you'll probably remember this from your the HTML tutorials, I'm just going to put an HTML tag at the top and put a closing tag all the way down. You can't see it at the bottom. There's that. And if you remember, there's no structure at all right here. So let's start wrapping some of the paragraphs in paragraph tags. So back to the text editor, back to the top of my document, I'm going to put paragraph tag, which is an open angle brackets P, closing angle brackets, and most tags have to have a closing tag. So if you over here type in open angle bracket / to indicate closing, P, closing angle bracket. Now what you need to do, you need to resave. Whenever you make a change, you have to resave it, and then you can go back to your browser and reload it. And bingo bango, you've got something it's beginning to look like structured content. Let's go back in, let's add some more tags. So back over to the text editor, I'm going to wrap this top stuff in a few paragraph tags. Just because it's a paragraph tag doesn't mean it has to have technically a paragraph in it. It's almost like an analogy for a particular kind of content, but the tags are primarily about structure. I forgot to put in the angle bracket. Let's do another one. And P, you kind of got the idea. I'm just going to delete this last line. And then you've got this title. Rather than wrap that in paragraph tags, I think I'm going to wrap it in a header tag. If you remember from your tutorials, HTML has specially designated header tags. They go from H1 to H6. H1 is your largest one, H6 is your smallest header. So I'm going to go kind of in the middle of the road. I'm just going to call this, I don't want something too big. I'll do a H3 on this side and then close the element with an H3 tag, a closing HTML tag on this side. Okay, let's save it. Go back to our browser and bingo. Again, you've got something that's starting to look like the Word document. I'm going to talk about that. This is a web medium, and there are going to be other much more dramatic changes to come, but I just want to illustrate some of this stuff. I'm going to do something else, just a little extra bonus here. I'm going to throw a little bit of styling into this tag. Now, when people talk about web development, they typically talk about HTML, which is add structure to content. They talk about CSS, which is cascading style sheet. That's presentation. HTML structure, CSS is presentation, and to round out this triad, people often talk about JavaScript, which is a scripting language that you can put into an HTML document that can control behavior and make a web page interactive. You guys don't have to mess around with CSS in this assignment unless you want to. I'm just going to throw something in without really explaining it. Style. What I'm going to do is center this this title. Let me spell the line right. Okay, I'm going to save it, go back over here to the browser and refresh. And there it is. It's centered in the page. So it even looks more like our original thing. Okay, now having done that, the point of that little illustration was to illustrate, in I hope a concrete way, how tags add structure to content. Now how I would actually go about creating a web page, I probably wouldn't do it this way. I probably would start with an HTML template. Let me pull one up. This is just your basic HTML template. I've also switched text editors. I'm using something called Notepad++. This is free online. You can download it for free. It's pretty powerful. I like using it because it puts the tags and it does color coding. And I think it also, does it do this? It does it for JavaScript. It can tell you which brackets go with which brackets. So you can kind of keep your opening and closing tags straight. I also typically use indentation to denote hierarchical relationships. HTML is the broadest set of tags, and then header and body are the next two major units, and then like in the header you've got this meta. You don't have to really know too much about this. This is just telling you what character set it's using. And the title. So this is probably what I would start with, and I'm going to make this available to you. I'll email it to you guys as an attachment or put it up, and probably put it up on the Blackboard site. So what I would do, let's just give this thing a title. I'm just going to call it Holcomb's web page. And what that does, this is the great thing about, one of the convenient things about Notepad++, you can just run it from the browser, from the program itself. And wait a minute, I think I have to save it. Oh yeah, it should do that. There it is. All the title does is it changes the tab at the top of the web page. So this is Holcomb's web page. Okay, back to the browser. Back to the text editor. And if you want to, you can go ahead back. You can start by just putting the paper in and then start adding structure to it, or you can start doing bits and pieces at a time. Let's just put in. I'm going to go back here just so I don't have to retype these tags. I'm just going to put the first paragraph in. Control C. Back over to the text editor. I'm going to put. Tab over. Oh, it's saved as a. Wonder why I did that. Okay, I'm gonna pause for a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that interruption. It must have been saving some hard returns in the Unicode or something like that. So anyhow, we're back here. We've got the header and the paragraph tag and the first paragraph. Now, the assignment requires that you add 3 links and 3 images. What I'm going to do here right now is just to add a single link to illustrate and then add a image just for the sake of illustration again. So, what to link? You typically link important or unknown information that your reader might want to know more about. So if I just go back through this is ignorance is bliss, it's better not to know. Ancient Greek mythology tells of a king named Oedipus. Maybe not everybody knows who Oedipus is. I think I'm going to add a link to him, to this name. So what you do is you take a link tag and wrap it around this word. So a link tag begins with A. It has an attribute telling what to where to link it to, equals, and in between the quotation marks you just type an URL. Let's put that, let me hold that, we'll get back to that. And then at the end, I want the link to end where the word ends, so put the closing tag at the end of the word. Okay, let's just, Oedipus, grab some information on Oedipus. I'll go back down to here. Probably should use the, hold on, let me switch over to Chrome. No, don't do that. I'll lose the screen recorder. Okay, hold on a second, guys. Okay, let's just create another one. Let's just type in Oedipus. See if we can find some information. I don't know why it's coming up on Bing as my default browser. Search engine. Wikipedia, for this assignment, Wikipedia is fine. For a more scholarly project, you would probably want to use scholarly sources. I use Wikipedia a lot. What I typically do, this is a little sidebar, is I use it to, if I don't know about something, it's a good kind of introduction. And then I'm most interested at the bottom, the footnotes. Start looking at the footnotes for more scholarly sources and the external links for web pages that are more dedicated to the topic, and it's not just an encyclopedia or a web encyclopedia entry. So Wikipedia is a good place to start, but only as a stepping stone to more authoritative sources. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut and paste the URL, Control C, go back over to my text editor, not this one, this one, and in between these quotation marks of the href attribute, just cut and paste the web page, the URL. And then I'm going to resave, save, and then I'm going to relaunch in Chrome. And there's some other artifacts are being carried over when I switched over to this. But what you've got here is the link, and if you click on the link, you go to the web page. Okay, you'll need to add 2 more of these for this assignment. And okay. Let me go ahead and close this up. I'm going to pause just for a second. Okay, I'm back. I figured out what those little question marks were. They're the Microsoft Smart quotes and apostrophes that usually jam up other programs. I left one in here, person's opinion. All I did was just switch them back to here. To see that, you can see the little funky, just switch it back to a regular apostrophe, resave, reload, and it's gone. Okay, so anyhow, we've got our link to Oedipus. You'll add 2 more of these. Let's add an image. Okay, I'm going to put this image right after this title. And the image tag is just open brackets, img for image. And then you need to specify a source, a location for the image. Oops, equal, kind of like the link tag. And then you just close it. This is one of those standalone tags that doesn't have a closing tag. If we go back over into my thing, I've already picked out an image. I typically put things in an image folder within wherever I locate the HTML, just to kind of keep things separate and clean. I've got this image in here called the Thinker. So, and I think it's a JPEG file. So just go over here, give it the source location. It's in a folder called Images. And within that folder, it's called the Thinker, and it's a JPEG file. Okay, I'm going to save this, and rerun the program, relaunch the program, and bingo bango, there's a image